Hi everyone. We thought we'd start this second video of the Mediterranean garden build by showing you some of our inspiration for what we're going to be building. So we've come to the Eden project in Cornwall, where they have biomes, one of which is the Mediterranean biome, which is by far my favourite and really kind of captures everything I love about this type of garden. So we thought we'd come and just show you a few little clips of the things that will be influencing the stairs, be influencing the planting, the terrace with the gravel and the olive trees, all of those things. So yeah, enjoy. We'll show a little bit of this and then we'll get back to the building site. Welcome back. This week we are going to be getting the digger down from up here. We're going to kind of leave that for now. As we said in the last video, there's way more rock than we thought, so we're going to be leaving that alone, and then we're going to come around and start clearing all of this stuff here to straighten that off so that we can build up that wall. And then the plan will be to use the rock that we've exposed up there, chuck it all down to build that wall. So there's minimal movement, we get the wall built and we clear that at the same time, and then we'll get another digger in probably in the late summer, early autumn to finish leveling that off at the same time as doing the other big spoil heap over there. So we'll kind of split this job in two, focus more on the walls now, and then come back to the landscaping. So yeah, today getting this bit cut, and then we're going to, and you can see how unprepared we are, this section here, there, and cover up the bedroom, all of that needs clearing and then foundations dug, but it's not as bad as it looks. And we'll do a lot of this on time lapse because I think if it's anything like before, there's going to be about 6 or 7 hours of digging and no one wants to watch all of that. Yeah, so let's crack on. So this is the first bit we're going to be clearing for that bit of wall. I've made my life a lot harder by putting that big pile of rocks there, really. I'll run out the way so you can see. That big pile of rock there, made sense to get it out of the way at the top. It's now in the way of the digger, but we can get ahead of it. We don't need to dig behind it. So yeah, we'll try. And there's also a dumpy bag of sand here. It's been there for about 7 years. So that bag is going to be very brittle. So we'll see how we do. Okay, hopefully you can see this in the light. It's quite bright behind me. Oh, let's come over here. Okay, hopefully you can kind of make out what's going on here. We are trying to square this all away. Very difficult with the angle because we can't get the digger, even with all this stuff out the way. Oh, actually, yeah, if we'd have got that stuff out of the way, we'd have been fine. My bad. We can't get in close enough. The way that this scoop works, I'm used to them letting you pull it all the way out so you can scrape downwards. So this one just only goes about half the way. So you're always doing a rounded dig. The JCB digger that I've had before let you go right down, which meant you could get quite a square hole, or going from above, I suppose, might have worked, but we couldn't get the depth from up there. The way the scoop works, it's kind of giving it a curved bottom, but it's still significantly better than if I had to dig all this out by hand. So I'll put the camera up this end and hopefully you'll get a good view along the line. So we are back as far as where the dry stone wall is going to end. We've cleared, in inverted commas, all the way along here. Obviously it's still messy on the floor, but I'm obviously not brilliant with this digger, but also its range of motion is much less than the previous digger we had, so I'm not kind of getting that closeness that I was hoping to get. Either way, we've basically blitzed that whole section along there, which was the thing that I wanted to do. I can rake this out. We're going to get whacker plates in and MOT and everything for the floor anyway, so I'm not really concerned about that. I'll pull these big rocks out throughout the week and then we will just rake it out, get a nice level base for the actual wall itself. And then you can see we've got this pile of enormous rocks here, and there's some absolutely massive rocks over there, and there's still a few rocks up here. That's my son just mining for broken bits of pottery that he keeps finding, which is cool. Little archaeology project for him. And yeah, we are pretty well ready to start doing our dry stone wall over the next couple of weeks. So that will be spread over several videos, I'd imagine, because it's a lot of work, and we're only going to have the evenings and weekends for that, because obviously we have jobs. So yeah, that'll be one whole project, dry stone wall, getting it right up to the height there, and then continuing that height across, which will actually be higher than this current level, and then using all that spoil up there to level it all out. And obviously kind of using the stone in place. Anyway, this job done. Next job, we're going to be marking out and then digging the foundations for the other wall at the other end. Okay, it is Sunday evening and we are quickly running out of time. We've marked out the line we want here in green, which you might be able to see. It's very bright green. We're going to use the wider bucket just to give us a little bit of leeway either side, because we're not 100% sure on exactly the measurements. And we'll shutter off if we need to, if it's too wide, just so we don't waste too much concrete. Yeah, so we're going to dig a trench all the way along there, and we're going to go to about 18 inches deep. We are already, this is the natural ground level there, so we're already that far underground, and it's basically rock at this point. So we're just going a little bit lower. 18 inches is still quite far, so that we're embedded, and then this ground level here is actually going to be coming up slightly by about 6 inches anyway, so I think that's going to be fine. And we've also got a corner return there, so there's going to be strength there, and then from this line here, that's where our staircase is going to, that will be the stairs, that'll be like a landing, so that whole thing there is going to support the wall. And then just where the digger is, there's going to be another like buttress return thing on the end, just to make that stronger. So the widest stretch of like unsupported wall will be 3 meters, so I think that's going to be fine. And in fact, we'll probably end up putting some kind of planter or something in there anyway. And you can kind of see roughly where we've marked out where the steps are going to go, and then we're going to cut that top piece out down the line. This will be a next year job when we start tackling that jungle up there to make our kind of dining space. But yeah, we just want to get this bit done now while we've got the digger before it gets too late. Hey, so a little bit of time has passed. Last weekend we got the footings dug. I'm just putting the video together. Thought I'd do a little roundup for the end. Yeah, the dust has settled a bit here, so you can see the aftermath. It's not as bad as it initially looked. Now things have settled a bit. There's a lot of loose stuff. Still needs just a bit of tidying up. Come through here with a shovel and a wheelbarrow and just sort of level this out and take away some of this loose stuff. But we massively broke the back of it all, and importantly broke through. You can see this is literally stone. This is rock. So doing it all by hand would have been an absolute nightmare. And the same with this footing. Originally my plan was to just do this with an adze or something, but I would have been there for the rest of my life. The footing is not straight, as you can see, so today I'm going to be measuring off. We've got a perforated pipe to go against the wall anyway, so I can come this way a bit, and I'm going to start over in that corner. It's actually not that off centre. It's supposed to be slightly diagonal anyway because of the line of this wall. So yeah, the next video basically that you'll see will be me straightening all this stuff off and starting to pour some concrete. So thanks again for watching. It's massively appreciated. And there's a fair few people watching now, which is great. Also, I'd massively appreciate if people could drop comments to sort of say, what do you think I'm doing right or wrong with this? Because I am no professional wall builder. The next steps are going to be perforated piping, which I'm going to plan to wrap with fabric, bury in some pea gravel. Do I bury it all the way to the top of pea gravel, or is it okay to do it just a couple of feet and then use this loose stuff as backfill? I'm not entirely sure. So I'll be looking into the stuff obviously as I go along. It's going to take several weeks to do the project, but anyone who has any advice, I'd be more than happy to have a little chat in the comment section. So let me know. Thank you very much. Again, like and subscribe, it would be amazing. And we'll see you next week.